And we do so here on Shan and RJ, along with Bobby Belt live in Indianapolis with our Combine coverage kicking off today. We will be there for tomorrow's show, along with Brian Broaddus. Broaddus is going to kick it off in the afternoon for the G-Bag Nation, brought to you by Yorgi Pet Care Connectors, on your official home of the Cowboys and Rangers. And yesterday, Stephen Jones talking to media members in Indy, and he knows, hopefully, what side of the ball needs to be fixed.
We want to fix this defense, and we feel really good about the offensive side of the ball now that we got Javonte done, and we know we'll have George back. So we feel really good about that side of the ball. I think this is obviously, we spent a lot of time on it already in the offseason, revamping the defensive coaching staff, and now we'll, take the next steps, which are to improve, the personnel on that side of the ball.
It seems like Christian Parker is being a little extra quiet. Like, normally when you get a job and you're like, all right, who do you like? We could always get McCarthy or someone to answer, like, who's impressed you in training camp? Give us a couple of names under the radar, maybe someone who's not getting as much attention. I don't know if we're going to be getting names from Christian Parker. We've gotten a Savone Ravel here and there. Obviously, you're going to love Quinnen Williams, but my prediction is they're going to be quieter than normal, especially Christian, talking about who he likes with all the possible turnover and personnel change.
And, obviously with potentially him wanting players from other teams. Maybe they want to bring guys in that he used to work with, that would fit there. But obviously on this team, and I'm cool with that. There's an evaluation process that has to go through. If he doesn't know who he wants, or even if he does, he's not ready to say because they don't want to kind of show their cards, then I've got no problem with this.
What do you mean if he doesn't know who he wants?
As of already?
Yeah, he better. He should.
It's still early. I still there are certain guys where you better know that that they fit in your system or not, right? You better know. But other guys, I think that you could still have questions about how they fit. Now, I'm not sure that I would prioritize those guys then, because if you don't know, then maybe that means they don't fit.
If Gavin Spittle walked into his job that he's got today, like let's say today was his first day on the job, and old
hockey
Barrett
podcaster
Sports Media calls him up. Yeah, Barrett Sports Media calls him up and says, yeah, you're over at 105 through the Fan now. They got a lot of, they've got different folks over there who would talk about some of the talent you have over there. Who you like? And he's like, I think we'd all be like, that doesn't sound good.
Yeah.
I think
it's exactly
the problem
what he
is
did.
Christian Parker. I think Christian Parker would look at a lot of this defense and go, I don't like a lot of it. There's a lot of it that was bad. They were awful for a reason last year, and they keep talking about the pieces that they have, and they've got a couple. Quinnen Williams is awesome. If depending on how you're projecting out health for certain guys, Overshown and Bland may be players that you like, but there's not enough players to field a NFL defense next year. And so it's really hard to talk about them positively when 80% of this defense that started last year may be gone when I get to it.
When talking about fit, you brought up a point that I heard myself, or I read myself, with a Jadeveon Clowney headline.
Yeah, so the Clowney thing is,
It's kind of threw me off.
Are they playing coy? This is also the thing where I don't believe a word anybody in the NFL says from basically the end of their season until the end of the draft. It's silly season. They're doing a lot of, they're playing coy. Or maybe they're not sure, but if you don't like the player and you want him out, do you try to talk yourself out of the player? So in this situation, let's say Christian Parker doesn't know whether he likes somebody that he fits, but he likes the player. Would he not try to talk himself into wanting to bring that player back?
Yeah, but the headline that you referred to that we need to talk about is Jadeveon Clowney a fit?
Right.
And to me, it's like, how would he not be a fit? I guess you can talk about 3-4 versus 4-3 edges, but Bobby, what am I missing here? Whether Clowney is a fit or not? Because Steven, I don't want to take this too far, all right? Because Steven mentioned Clowney along with Javonte immediately when the offseason began, and obviously they backed up their mouth with signing Javonte. So I think they love Clowney, but it just kind of threw me when reading the headline, is Jadeveon Clowney a fit for this D? Why?
Yeah, because I think we've always all thought of Jadeveon Clowney, even before he got here in Dallas, as just like, oh, yeah, that's a guy who stops the run, and he's just a nice technician, so why wouldn't that ever fit into a defense? And didn't Christian Parker just get done telling us that, hey, you fit your scheme to the players, and you do this and that, so how it'd be odd if your big defensive free agent that everybody thought you were going to bring back is the guy that you go, well, he doesn't fit my scheme. It's like, really? Because that's kind of the complete opposite of what you told us you're going to do. I wonder if it's more about what Clowney's expectation is in terms of playing time coming off of the year he had, and him maybe feeling like, hey, I'm kind of rejuvenated and I'm ready to go out there and I'm ready to perform and I'm ready to be a full-time player. And maybe Christian Parker just looks at it and goes, I like you. I think you can contribute. You're not going to be out there 80% of the snaps. Like, that's just not the way that I'm going to run the defense. So I don't know. We'll find out more about that while we're out here. I'm guessing we'll hear some whispers about what that meant. But my initial inclination off of it was, okay, if you're talking about Clowney like that right off the bat, I wonder if there's just a disagreement about how much he can still contribute at his age, like what Clowney feels like he can do coming off that year, and what Christian Parker kind of looks at and says, this is what I think you can do reliably.
Also, we're about 6 months away from when Jadeveon Clowney actually decides that he's going to want to play football.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you don't try. If you like him, you try to get him in. But, also, if he doesn't think that he is a fit right away, then there is are you better off just walking away? And
maybe they got out of that negotiation, or maybe their first couple, because they said early on they were going to talk about it. Maybe they sat down in that meeting, and maybe Clowney's agent went, he had a pretty good year. This is the Jadeveon Clowney of old. We want $20 million next year. And now Steven's just playing a little bit of a game like, ooh, you're pretty comfortable here last year, right? Maybe you don't fit here. Maybe that's the case.
But there's nothing from a scheme fit that would make him a square peg, round hole.
No, he's played in 3-4. He's played in 4-3. Yeah. He's played. I mean, Jadeveon Clowney's played a lot of different, defensive schemes throughout his career. I think he could fit. You could find a way to make him fit into anything that you want to do.
But he wasn't happy in the Carolina one, and when reading how they used him, that doesn't make sense. So I think he was sitting there dropping back in coverage. Yeah, he may have played.
They will
ask
linebackers to drop. You're right. They will ask linebackers to drop it. I mean, it could be that maybe they feel like he can't cover as much, and it's just like, well, I don't want somebody who's just going to pin his ears back and rush. That could be part of it.
Stephen Jones on his now. I didn't see any reporters ask or tweet where the Joneses were. That would have been one of my first questions. Where were you guys? Why were you guys up there at the press conference? Here's Stephen giving the first public audio comments on their new DC.
I just think he's got a great defensive mind. He's been under a lot of top defensive minds in this league. I think he's learned from a lot. Also like what he said. He goes, I got my own ideas too. Twists that he would add because he's respectful for chain of command in terms of executing who he's worked for, but he's also, can bring combinations of those things and bring it to the table. And then I thought he was outstanding on, how him and Shotty went about hiring the support around him, the coaches around him, the assistant coaches. They were very thorough. We were very thorough.
Stop.
Thorough.
That's my new Steven word.
Thorough.
He was very thorough. They were very thorough. That's my new Steven word. I love the twang.
We were very thorough.
That's so old school Southern thorough.
Give me both. Give me both, starting from their Pepe to the end of the clip with Steven on CP.
The coaches around him, the assistant coaches, they were very thorough. We were very thorough. And all the interviews that we did, and I think we put an outstanding staff together, and now we got to go get the players and their vision for the type of players that'll help him execute what he wants to do philosophically on defense.
How have we gone 15 years without getting the word thorough to come out of their mouths?
I know.
How have we had that? Cooper. Cooper happens all the time. Schedule. We've gotten schedule.
They were very thorough.
There we got thorough. How have we gone 15 years without thorough?
Now we have to see if we can get Jerry to say it and whether it matches. Whether he got whether that twang matches, and that's just how they say it.
Yeah, also we need to, like, when we get to training camp, like G-Bag, that's got to be one of their things is like Eric, whenever Eric goes into every interview in training camp with something, it's like, Eric, see how many times you can get him to mirror the word thorough back to you. Use it in your questions, see how many times he'll throw back at you, and then if you can get to a certain number.
We executed the Dick Fangio for them in San Fran, right?
Yeah, but I did not feel good about it because I can't remember who I used it on. It was... I think I used it on, I don't remember who I used it on. Whoever I used it on, I said it, and then right after I said it, I was like, I just got completely self-conscious, and I was like, they know I said Dick Fangio and not Vic. They know I said it, and I can see it on, and then I lost where I was with my question. I just started stumbling and spitting out nonsense.
Yeah, I thought it went right over their head. I thought the execution was there. I didn't see any, was it Ted Wynn? Was it Dalton Schultz? Was it Mayock? I can't remember who it was.
I think it was Seth Payne.
Oh, Seth Payne.
Yeah.
Well, Seth.
The listeners loved the interview.
I love Seth, but his head is always, it seems like it's in a different city. He had no idea he was supposed to sit down.
Stafford?
Live, not live, throwing Stafford into his underdog's Super Bowl
How's Stafford going to do this week? He ain't playing, man.
Yeah. Now, look, when you look at Christian Parker's staff, he's 34, and each one of his hires is under 45. So now we're going from the sage veterans who have been head coaches and they've been DCs to a bunch of young bucks. Stephen Jones, any concern with too much youth?
Not necessarily design. We certainly weren't afraid of it. Let's put it that way. I mean, we've eyes wide open. We see what's going on around the league and the success that's being had, and you do have to communicate. These kids. You got to figure out how to communicate with them, and certainly the younger you are, you have a better chance of knowing what they like and what gets their attention, and I think it's a plus, and there's no question the energy levels are there, and we're fired up about our staff.
I don't care about the age. They're good. They're good, right? Age be damned, but I do believe there is value in that old person that just is like they've seen it all, the advice guy.
We were very thorough.
But Robert Duvall died a couple weeks ago, right? And all of his characters was like the sage, older, as he aged, his characters were all kind of the same. This that sage older guy that had a ton of advice that you could lean on. I think every staff does need that. I don't care what the ages are for the most part. Are you good or not? Do you fit within the system or not? Are you able to build players up, coach players up or not? That's the important part.
So out in San Fran, go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I was just saying there was something about the whole is there any risk with going with a younger staff, and they've said no twice now, where they've said no, there's no risk there inherently built in. It's completely safe or whatever else. It's like no, there is a risk. But that's what I think people like is that there's a possible downside to this, but you're getting out of your comfort zone and you're willing to swing for something that could be bigger and better than what you've had here.